Good day, lovely people. Good day, lovely people. It is Tomiko. It is Tomiko, social worker. I am just coming to check and I am coming to see how everyone is doing. I hope you had a great week and I hope this week will even be better. So listen, I wanted to talk about a subject. It's called charge for short, but the whole subject basically that you shouldn't charge one without charging the other. I'm just going to talk about three different type of charges. The first charge is just basically you purchasing something, you're gonna get charged for your purchase. That's that. You went food shopping, you bought some clothes, you're gonna get charged for your purchase. That's one charge. The second charge is basically if you break a law, you get charged. You get a penalty for breaking the law. That's another charge. The last charge is having negative feelings against someone. That is a charge. So some people say hold a grudge, or you have an ought against someone, but it's having some type of negative feelings against someone. It's kind of like a disruption in a relationship and things like that. They have been charged for whatever they did, and you are holding that against them. You're holding that behavior against them, and so you don't want to be bothered with them anymore. And so that's that, right? And so I'm going to horn on to the last charge of having negative feelings, having some type of resentment against the other party. So I'm going to quickly let's talk about relationship. Let's just say that we have a wife, we have a husband, and we have some children, right? And let's just say that the man lied, right? Let's just say the man lied and the wife doesn't want to forgive it, right? And so if we charge the husband with lying, then we also should charge the wife with unforgiveness, because we're all error. We are human, we all error, right? And so now listen. So now we have kids. Now there's kids, right? There's kids in a relationship. And so now the wife, she sits there and she goes and talk about the husband, right? Of what happened, because now the relationship is like such in a turmoil. It's it's so bad at the moment that the husband's like, listen, hey, I'm ready, I'm ready to go. And so the relationship is at risk. And so now she starts telling the kids how that the father doesn't want to be there anymore and blah blah blah. The relationship's no good, right? And so now the kids are mad at the father, right? So now listen. So now what the mother just did is put some type of hinge to separate, right? To separate the father and the kid's relationship, because you sitting there degrading, sit there and degrade the other half when a kid shares the mother blood and the father blood. And so you actually sitting there talking about my other parent. To me, you're sitting there talking about you're degrading my other parent. So how am I supposed to feel? And automatically, most of the time the kid takes the mother's side and things like that, right? And so now the family is back together, because basically the mother knows that the father loved the kids, and if the kids is mad at him, most likely it keeps the man, it keeps him home. It keeps him home and not going anywhere. All right, so now the mother got what she wants, right? So the relationship is there and things like that, right? Okay, good. But the relationship is still impaired with the father and the child, is because of what the mother said. So now the mother and father relationship is good, but the father and the child relationship, there's still some type of damage because what the mother said. And so this is why you can't charge one with the father with his lying, and then don't charge the mother for impairing the child's relationship and the unforgiveness. So the mother got two charges. The mother got two charges now, right? You done impaired the relationship. You impaired the relationship with the father and the child because you chose to go to the child and not another adult to speak to about your relationship. It doesn't matter if your child is an adult, it's still the children, and it's still a child that shares the same blood and the same love for that parent. That's just that, right? So you could have went to another adult outside of the relationship. You could have went somewhere, not the child that also loves the other parent, right? Because you asking that child to choose sides. When you degrade one parent, you kind of putting in their head to choose sides. And so when you do that, you rob me of the full potential. I said potential. You rob me of the full potential of actually loving that other parent, right? Goes the same with single parents and things like that. And so when you're single parent, you degrade the other parent, and then you don't, and the absent parent, so now that child don't like the absent parent and praises the parent for making all these sacrifices, and you should, for making all these sacrifices. It's still that parent that made the sacrifices chose this person to have children with. And so there's still a charge because you chose this person to have children with. So it can't be all the man's fault, although he's an absent parent. It can be your decision making as well. You chose to have kids by this person, absent or not. You chose. And so the married couple, let's go back to the married couple. So now everything is good and all is well and everybody's living happily ever after. But now in the home, although the wife says that she forgives, right? Although so everything is back together, they all together. But now listen, when you do work things out, right, and you're one at home, you can't sit there and give me the same impingement. You can't sit there and bring up what happened again, because when you sit there and you continue to bring up what happened, you pull our relationship apart and not together. Not together, right? Because you continue to bring up the damage, old past damages, right, that was already done. You still bring it. And so when you continue to bring it up, I get frustrated, and then you stretch me possibly out of the home, at least into another room, right? Because you don't stretch me, because you continue to bring it up. You continue to bring it up when we supposed to be sitting here trying to close the gap, right? You said you wanted to work stuff out, so you sitting here, we trying to put closure, right, to the gap. We trying to close the gap, but when we do get the gap closed, you continue to open the gap by continuing to bring up the past. And so that's what happened. So instead of being flexible, right, and coming together and try to, balance it, we're doing our checks and balance, we doing this in a relationship. What can we take away? What can we add? And do this. You continue to bring up the past, my impingement, which stretches me and don't want me to be there, right? So this is hard to accomplish because you continue to stretch it by bringing up the past. And so you can't charge one, you shouldn't charge one without charging the other, or drop the charges, because there's accountability on both parties. Drop the charges, because you should not charge one without charging the other, because there's most of the time there's not one person fault. It's not just one person fault. Something caused my reaction. Something happened, right? Okay, but in the nutshell, I just sit here, I just came and say that I was just sent to you just to send an apology, right? There's so many people that's been violated, that's been hurt, that's still holding grudges, and you're not gonna really get an apology from that particular person. You're not gonna get an apology from that particular, A, some people are deceased, B, others are sick and probably not gonna be able to put an apology probably together. B, C, some people just not gonna give you an apology because they don't wanna even walk backwards. They don't even wanna live that past experience. And so those who have been hurt, those who have been violated, those who have been stuck, those who felt unloved, those who, I am sincerely coming to you and I am giving you an apologies, because I believe it's time to repair ourselves first, right? Repair some relationships, really apologize for the things that happened in the past, for the things that hurted you, for the things that violated you, for the things that made you feel unsafe, that made you nervous, that made you a nervous wreck. I'm sitting here and I'm giving you an apology of the past for you feeling abandoned. There's things, and it still comes out in your adulthood that you feeling abandoned, because as soon as somebody you know or somebody you close to is talking to another party, you just automatically think that, oh, okay, I'm at risk of losing. Nobody's not at risk of losing. What's yours is yours, and that's it. Nobody's not at risk of losing anything. But because of abandonment, you might feel that. And so I apologize for sitting there mistreating you. I apologize for sitting here giving you uncomfortable stares. I give you uncomfortable stares because actually when I look at you, it reminds me of how far I didn't get. That's what it is. And so when I look at you, I kind of stare at you because I sometimes feel like you living my life. And so that's why. And so I truly sincerely apologize. I apologize for making you cry. I apologize for leaving you alone. I apologize. I sincerely, and I'm asking you if you can find some way in your heart to forgive. It happened, but I sincerely apologize. I sincerely apologize. About a few more months, got about a little over 3 months until this year close, as it's time for self-reflection. Sometimes we just need to sincerely apologize. If you can text, if you can write, if you can send, if you can call, apologize. This is not college. We are not waiting for an acceptance letter. We are not waiting for them to accept our apology. We're just sitting there. We're apologizing more for us and not for them. For us, it is time to put some things to closures as this year comes to a close, for us to move on in a better way. It is time. It is time. It is time. Because some of y'all have some tight grips on some situations, how y'all want to move forward, but that situation got you in a tight hold. It got you so in a tight hold, and you think that you can't move on, but you are so brilliant. You are more brilliant than a situation. It is just, you can move on from that situation. You truly can. And it takes small steps, not big, gigantic steps. It just will take small steps to move up and to move forward, okay? And so like I said again, you shouldn't charge one without charging the other. And if one is charged and the other is not, then drop the charges. Drop the charges. All right, until next time, until next time, until next time. Until next time, make sure you take care of yourself and each other. Bye for now.